What is going on, guys? I'm back at it today, taking another in-depth look at all of the information that was revealed to us on our big Battlefield 5 reveal date, as well incorporating a lot of the new news that has shown up from the EA Game Changers community alongside the press, who had their own reveal date for them given to them, I think like a day prior to the big public reveal date on May 23rd. So incorporating all that information down onto one new feature has been the goal of these videos. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out my other videos, I go over the new game mode showing up to Battlefield 5 alongside the new builder mechanics, so you can check those in the annotations above. But today we are going to focus on the new movement system showing up to Battlefield 5, a new system that I'm actually pretty excited for, considering it's just movement in a Battlefield game. But the way the movement sounds and all the new aspects and the actual realism that comes alongside these movements has me pretty excited. Hopefully, alongside these new movement mechanics, DICE can resolve some of those more pesky issues that we experienced in Battlefield 1 with our movement in regards to things like vaulting. You guys had situations where you try to vault over an obstacle in front of you and you couldn't, or situations where you would try to climb out of a trench or maybe climb over a wall, you would instead go prone right next to the wall. So hopefully, alongside these new features, DICE can resolve the more pesky problems that we experienced in Battlefield 1. But we're going to jump right into it, get right into the reveal trailer itself, because it gave us a lot of information, as we're seeing rolling up here with the woman and the guy going into the building. And you're going to see an explosion that's going to go off to the side, where I think that's where a kitchen or something like that. But the explosion is going to go inwards into the house, and it's going to blow the woman back into the wall. Now, in the new movement system, you will be impacted by explosions, so expect your body to be thrown across in a room or outside. We see another situation later on in this trailer where the V1 rocket comes in from above and there's a big explosion and the individual gets thrown back onto his back, and that's where we see the beginning parts of where the teaser trailer showed up at for us. But that is what ends up happening with this new movement mechanics. You will experience some pushback from the explosions, and from my understanding about it, I don't think there's anything you can do in regards to shooting from it or anything like that right now. You will be affected and you're going to feel it, to kind of give more of a weight and realism to actually how movements are in the battlefield. Now, after that part, you're going to see the guy run up the stairs, and he's actually going to look out the window, see a couple tanks, and he's going to turn around and immediately sprint out upstairs and jump right out the window. So I guess part of the new movement mechanics we'll experience is the ability to jump out the windows. No more of us trying to break the windows down with having to have a melee weapon that was able to break wood, so you could bust through the window, or if you had to shoot your gun instead to break the window down. None of that anymore. You can just jump out through the window. I'm assuming we can jump into the house or through the windows as well, even though that's not been detailed for us exactly. But I'm assuming if you can jump out, you'd be able to jump back in. Obviously, it would have to be on a first story floor, but there are some interesting mechanics when it comes to grabbing onto ledges. From what I'm hearing, you will be able to jump up and grab ledges. Now, my understanding from what I'm hearing is you will have to time it right and click a button to grab on, so you won't just be able to jump and think you're just going to randomly grab whatever ledge is there for you to grab, but instead you're going to have to click a button, so that will allow your character to grab onto the ledge. Not sure how high up you'll be able to jump and do this, but it is good to know that there is more realistic movement mechanics coming into in our next Battlefield game. You'll see once the guy is able to make it through the window, the woman appears back into the scene, this time though on her back, moving backwards as the tanks pass her, as she is getting her gun out to shoot. Now, this is part of the new movement mechanics, where you will be able to move backwards onto your back and actually shoot that way. From what I am hearing, you can actually move in 360 degrees on your back on the ground. You can as well dive forwards and land on the ground prone. You can even dive to the side, both left and to right. Now, don't be concerned if you think dolphin diving is returning, as from what I am hearing, they are going to implement something where there is a delay after you dive, where you won't be able to shoot, And from what I'm understanding as well too, shooting on your back on the ground isn't going to be the most accurate of ways either. So these are just primarily meant to be movement mechanics and not meant to be some way you can try to take advantage of not being shot and then being able to shoot against enemy players. It's mainly just meant to be around the more movement system and not really for the whole shooting gameplay. So this is also the case if you're trying to vault over items. You will be able to vault over, you know, an obstacle and shoot at the exact same time if you're looking forward. So if you're moving forward, jumping over, you know, some type of obstacle in front of you, DICE does want you to have the ability to shoot because they feel like, I guess, that, you know, you're kind of left out there to be shot easily if you're in that whole animation where you're vaulting over an item. But again, it is not very accurate. This is also the case if you need to jump, and if you're trying to, you know, jump over something and just, you know, jump in the air and shoot, you can do that as well. But your accuracy again is going to be compromised from you bringing in movements. So it's a little bit of a trade-off if you're going to want to do this, but DICE doesn't want to leave you hanging from my understanding and just leave you out there to dry once you're trying to vault over something. So interesting approach DICE is doing here. Again, we'll see how well it gets fine-tuned, you know, how much to make sure there's not too much of an advantage, but enough again where you're not left out dry from jumping over an item or something like that, and you know, you got people shooting at you and you're kind of left in an animation that, you know, has you no way to defend yourself. You will be able to crouch sprint, not quite as fast as a normal sprint, but I'd imagine faster than just a normal walk. You will have the momentum of your movement carry over. If you were to run into a room really quick, that momentum would carry you over and slam you into the wall. So that's something that you want to take in consideration, because I guess the sounds that you would make from doing that would alert enemies around you. But I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do if you're trying to get away from you know, a couple of tanks or something like that, or get behind cover really quick. You know, that's kind of the trade-off you have to take, I guess. But yeah, do be aware that all the sounds that you'll be making slam into the wall, I would imagine people around you would be able to hear that. Now, to touch base a little bit on the whole animations that I had made mention about earlier when it came to vaulting and whatnot, if you do die or you get blown up and thrown across the battlefield from something, everyone on the battlefield will see your body flying. And I guess that will even carry over to if you're like getting blown up on a hill, your body will go down and tumble down the hill. If it gets thrown into water, it will make a, you know, splashing sound in the water. If you get thrown into a bunch of grass, you're going to see an indentation in the actual grass itself. Now, when it comes to reviving teammates, you will be able to grab the teammate's body that's on the ground and be able to drag him behind cover, so you don't have to be out in the open trying to revive him and getting shot by enemy players. As well, there will be an animation for that revive, so you're going to want to probably, again, pull your dead teammate behind some type of cover, because the animation is going to take a moment. Now, I am hearing that you will be able to cut and cancel that animation just in case, you know, you are getting shot and, you know, you don't want to be sitting there and being, you know, an easy target for someone to pick off. But you will be able to cancel that animation. But there are going to be animations, I guess, to lots of things. So reviving teammates, to taking health from the medic class, or taking ammo from the support class. All this is going to require some type of animation movement that's going to cause you to have to pause from everything that you're doing and see an animation screen show up for you. So there's a lot of that's going on from what I am hearing so far. I'm hearing it's going as far as enemy players be able to see you wading through water. If it's like, you know, knee or hip high water, and you'll be moving your legs above the water to move through the water better. You can even slip through mud. You'll see you, you know, making the indentions in the grass. If you have tall grass, they'll see you, you know, affecting how the grass looks. So there's a lot of animation stuff going on here. Some that will actually take you away from the gameplay from playing, and you'll have to pause and see your character doing something. And other things where just enemy players will see it from their perspective. They'll see your character just doing things like wading through water, or slipping on the mud or something like that. But from your perspective, you're just moving your character throughout the map. Now that is just the first look at some of the new movement system. We'll find out more again, I'm sure, when the actual gameplay is revealed to us on June 9th at EA Play. But from that first initial look, it seems like DICE is still going to go a little bit deeper when it comes to the actual movement. From this image we have here, which is showing the progression of our soldier, we have some interesting progressive items. We see their blast reduction and agility. So it makes me think if maybe we progress a little bit with that blast reduction, we can maybe handle a little bit more of the blast radius and maybe not be impacted by it as much. So maybe our body doesn't get flown to the ground as easily as maybe someone else's would. That could possibly be the case. I'm not sure what that agility could mean. Maybe that means, more stamina for your speed. Maybe you can run faster. Maybe you can jump higher. Maybe you can just, move quicker when you're on the ground and you're trying to go prone. I don't really know, but it seems like there is a deeper progression even to the basic movement mechanics. So definitely, again, keep a lookout for that at EA Play. I'm sure a lot of this will be tweaked, but we're at least getting a bit of a first glimpse off of what DICE has been thinking about. We even see it go as far as the very bottom there, where it shows us these silent footsteps, which appears to be probably a little bit of a perk system here. So you see even perks would be even tied into your movements as well. So again, a lot of first look at what DICE has been thinking here. There is another layer to your whole movements, and it's not just left to something that everyone will be able to experience, but there will be even a customization parts of that that will benefit your soldier if you choose to go down this customization route. Getting close to the end of my video here, we see in the reveal trailer our character being able to actually throw back grenades. So I do really like this feature. I think it will also help the whole grenade spam that we experienced in BF1. If you're able to essentially share grenades, then that's less a grenade you need equipped on your character. So I do like that. But moving on to a little bit some more interesting things what I've heard about, which is, I guess there's been some images that have been seen of your character being on skis. Now we know there's going to be, from these concept art that has been revealed to us, some images in some very snowy environments. So, could you see some movement involving skis being used? Seems like that could be the case. Will be interesting to find out how the whole parachute system works for the new airborne game mode. Again, you can check out more about that game mode in my previous video where I talk about the different game modes, but you will be able to parachute in, so that will be kind of interesting how that plays out, how much movement where you have in regards to parachuting into the battlefield. And finally, the melee system. So I'll be very curious to hear about how the animation for your melees turn out. I haven't heard too much about it yet, which is kind of interesting. We see a little bit here in the reveal trailer where the female character, takes a guy off of your character and, smashes them and melees them with the cricket club. But, that's all we kind of see with melees. I would imagine, though, this will be a lot of in-game customizations that you could probably purchase through the store. I think that would probably be the route that DICE would take here, as it wouldn't impact the gameplay. But the plethora of different melee type of animations that you could do, could be one way for DICE to make up not having a DLC package. So I would probably lean in that direction. That's what DICE is going to do. Again, we haven't seen much of the melee animations really show up, just one. But again, do expect that to be there. Do expect to have it where your character is going to be locked in the animation mode, and you will experience that melee, or if it's being done against you, you have that brief moment in time where everything kind of stands still. So But that is basically the last part of everything I've been hearing about lately. Again, feel free to let me know you guys' thoughts down below, or any other new information that you have heard about. I'll be sure to pin it in the top of the comments. But that is, again, a closer look at what we have showing up for us in Battlefield 5. Again, I always appreciate you guys being here. I am Livin', and I'll catch you guys again later.